welcome. This is the official welcome to Black Art in America. And this talk for the show that we have, Jumping Rope with Lynthia Edwards. All right?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all.
Before we get started, how many of y'all still can jump rope?
Oh.
Man, Lynthia, you still jumping?
No, I'm not even walking fast.
Man, hey, you see, I got my cane. I've been going to the gym the last year and end up messing up my doggone knee. So now I'm walking around with a doggone stick. So, but you know, it's all good.
It's for the culture. You got it.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, we're here for you today.
Okay.
How was your flight?
It was short. I'll just say that. It was short.
Okay.
Stuffy.
Short and stuffy.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear Lynthia okay?
Can you hear me? Do I need to put it closer?
Okay, so we may need you to hold the mic up just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Man, I had ran through and got a whole bunch of questions. Lynthia told me, said, "Man, them questions you sent me, I don't wanna talk about none of that. So we just gonna wing it, man. Y'all mind if we wing it and just have a conversation?"
I don't do all that deep thinking. Okay, I don't do it. No.
Now, see, if we had another glass, we probably get that out of here.
Part two.
You know. So, well, tell us from the start, Lynthia. That's usually where we start from. Talk about just you growing up, where you grew up, and then how you first came to know that you was making something called art.
So I'm originally from Alexander City, Alabama, which, ta-da! Yes. Alexander City, Alabama, which I went through the school system there. That's where Miss Marion Campbell comes in. And I was there from K through 12th grade. Grew up there. I was the daughter of a preacher. I was raised in a Pentecostal church. Glory. And that's my friend. He was raised in church as well. So, raised in a Pentecostal church, and I knew I was an artist from as far back as like 5 years old. My father was a creative, and he could make Muppets. He could make puppets. Sew puppets. He did sculpture. He painted. He did all those things, and so I was raised around art. My father would draw out my handwriting sheets, and he would draw the picture that went along with the alphabet. So I had always been around art. And as far back as I can remember, being 5 years old, drawing on Piggly Wiggly paper bags. My dad would not let me write on my lesson paper. So that was like, he country. So, that was your little homework paper, your little cornbread paper is what they used to call it. And I'm not that old. But from that moment, I knew that I was going to grow up and be a creative in some shape, form, or fashion. I actually wanted to grow up and be an obstetrician, but I figured I was better off using my hands in another capacity, something that I loved, and something that came easy to me. And it wasn't like if I'm creating, it's no work. It's everything that I love, and so that's how I got here.
Yeah. So what type of art were you doing as a child that you remember? Drawing, painting, did you get into sculptures?
Oh, I was collaging as a child.
Okay.
I was collaging as a child. Cutting up them Piggly Wiggly paper bags, drawing the picture out and cutting them out, and using that thick paste that came on that stick. Same thing that I'm doing as an adult. I have a big fat glue stick now. And using crayons, which ain't nothing but oil sticks, right? So, that's it.
Okay. So those are the early years. When did you decide that, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go to art school? And can you talk about going to school and where you went?
Okay, so we had an assessment back then, and I'm not really sure what it was called, but it would tell you like what career you should go into. And so that career said I needed to do something with my hands. Okay, great. Well, came along SATs, ACTs, and I couldn't even find a score on mine. Okay. Everybody was like, "Oh, I got a 20. I got this." I was like, "Oh my God, find mine for me." It was a 13. So I was like, okay, I got to go into something that I loved. And so I wound up going to the Art Institute of Atlanta and studying graphic design. Back then it was called visual communications. But But yeah, I studied that, and from there, took off with art education. Got my bachelor's in art education and got my master's in art education in curriculum design.
Okay,
One
all
more.
right. Well, God bless you, because I went to art school for 2 days and dropped out. So,
I can understand. Where did you go?
so I went to the Memphis Academy of Art. I had a
Okay.
partial scholarship, and the crazy thing is, I went there for 2 days. I was working at Domino's, and I put in like 70 hours. Did you go to school? Did you work while you was going to school?
I did. I worked at Steak and Ale. I was a hostess.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Man, I got that check for 2 weeks for like $475.
You
You
said
thought I
forget it.
owned the world. You know what? I'm serious.
Forget it.
I got real distracted.
You know what? They told me you were the art school dropout.
Yeah, that's
They
me.
said I never heard that.
That's me. I got it on my Insta. Yeah. What's the craziest? Was that the only job you had when you was in school?
Oh,
What was the worst one?
no. The other job I had was I worked at Lenox Mall in the Gap, and
Okay.
I folded the denim wall. Yes, and I got a chance to see all the celebrities when they came into town. They would come through the Gap.
Okay.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dig it. Is there anything that you learned while in art school that still applies, that you still use today?
I learned that you can't just accept what the facilitator is teaching you. You have to get up and get out there and learn more on your own just to get ahead. And once you've gotten ahead, then you have a little time to kind of lay back and kick your feet up. Because for me, I always wanted to know more than the facilitator. And it took me working overtime, like no sleep, studying at the job, or even like doing sketches while I'm in transit. And so for me, it was just really like getting up and getting out there and figuring it out myself before somebody had to teach it to me.
Dig it. So after art school, what was the next steps after art school? Where did you go? What did you do? Did you come to just go to teaching, or what was your practice at that time?
Okay, so we're gonna talk about that. So I started having children early. I had my first child at 17.
Okay.
And that was before I went off to college. So that was a year before I graduated school. So went off, got my graphic design degree. Well, with each child I had to get another degree in order to afford them.
Yeah.
And just art education was easy for me because when you go to work, your kids go to school. And when they're out for the summer, you can keep your own kids at home. So it just worked for me in raising them and being a single parent. So yeah.
You know what? So, I mean, God bless the art teachers at a young age. Like, I actually got kicked out of 8th grade art class. Anyway, it's not. So, but.
You do too much.
I don't know. I'm just too much, I guess. But the one thing, like even like when I do workshops with children, like they take so much energy. You know what I mean? Like I could do like one great class. After that, I want to smack some things around. I mean, how do you deal with that as an educator and an artist, and then having children yourself? Like, how is that?
Okay, first off, in the classroom, I was a helicopter teacher. Like, you pick up the glue, I'm right there saying, no, it go right here, rather than you painting the table with the glue. Like, I hovered to make sure everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. But it was a little bit overstimulating and overwhelming when you teach 300 kids and then you got to go home to your 3 kids. And they're saying the same things that them 300 kids were saying. So a lot of times my kids didn't get the best parent. And then there's a lot of days the students didn't get the best teacher. So for me, it was just trying to find a balance, and just in between work and going home to my own kids, I would go by the bar.
All right,
Yeah,
so
you gotta go by the bar.
You go by the bar. What you ordering?
Oh, I went to the neighborhood grill.
Okay.
And you know what? Who knows what the neighborhood grill is? What is it? Okay, what's the name of it?
The TGI Fridays?
Applebee's.
Applebee's. All
So
right, I got
go to Applebee's and get them $2 margaritas.
you. Okay.
Oh my goodness. And kids didn't have to be picked up because they went to after school, so they had to be picked up to like 5:30. So that was a lot of time between 3:30 and 5:30. You could get tips and get straight all at the same
Is that
time.
right? Yeah, I know. My drink of choice is when I go is a smoked old fashioned. I don't know about y'all, but
How do you make that drink? I have an idea, but how do you make that?
so I use a Woodford Reserve. Then you got orange bitters, and you got another aromatic bitters. You got the black cherry. I don't know what they call that. Then you got the simple syrup. Yeah, and then you smoke it. Get time. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll make you one time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's that
I bet
drink
you
you
gonna
set
get-
on
you
fire and
gonna-
be
you gonna-
smoking.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put some art supplies in front of you, and we'll see what kind of art we can make when we have some drinks.
Hey.
I want y'all to be thinking about some questions, y'all, because we're gonna keep this just fun and flowing, right?
Yes, because I like
Now-
this laid back feel.
Now let's talk about the works that are in the gallery right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think we call it Jumping Rope with Lynthia Edwards,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I guess after talking about teaching and all those kids, like how do you just, I mean, ain't nothing but kids in your work, right?
Oh, because I know kids best.
Okay, talk about that.
Okay, I spent so many years with children.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much know what they're gonna do, what they're gonna say, how they're gonna move, just everything. And it's just like, like studying them. So it's easier for me to just close my eyes and process what a child would say, what a child's gonna do, how they're standing when they're gonna say it. If it's a little black girl, how she gonna move her neck and pop her braids and her beads. I know that. And it's just easier for me to just visualize it and put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in the work.
I'm curious about the, like the mixed media. This is what I'm drawn to. For those that came in late, this piece right here we added to our collection. Okay?
Yes. Thank you. Congratulations.
You're welcome. Thank you. But these smaller works, like these are new works.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lynthia sent this like last week to us to get it framed. How was the transition between the ones that are the smaller ones that are over here, and then now you're doing more mixed media? When did that come about?
It all kind of worked together at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The smaller ones, like those were sketchbook editions.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm sitting and I'm watching my children, or I'm watching Everybody Hate Chris or 227, I can work those. Like I'm just sitting there and I'm just constantly working. So it's just
Right.
really like, those are really more so like me figuring out composition, color, and just pretty much like the basics of a work.
Mm-hmm.
When it moves to these that we have behind them, they're more colorful. So it takes just a little bit more time. And the only reason why it takes a little more time is because it's paint and I have to wait for it to dry. However, with the simple backgrounds, those are just processing, going and going and going, because it could be a time when I'm just like full of it and I gotta get it out. And so it could go works after works after works. These, I don't get sleep. So they got bigger and I had to start trying to use a little bit more energy. And so that's how they started to grow.
Yeah, man. To me, these are like magic. It's. Oftentimes I talk about like mixed media in my work being the difference between if a painting is shrimp and if a painting is shrimp and rice, then my mixed media work is my gumbo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at this and I look at the larger examples of your work, like they're just really juicy and vibrant and got so much richness to them, with material, the found objects that you include in those works.
Yeah.
I mean, I really dig those. But I'm seeing Krispy Kreme a lot now. You don't have no problem now, right? What's going on?
Okay, so my work is storytelling. And it's a story that I tell first person Uh-huh. Ooh. Okay. So my work is about telling the story of me and my experiences growing up as a black girl in the South, in Alabama, raised in the Pentecostal church. There's the whole story right there that deserves to be told, just as all these other stories deserve to be told. Um, it demands just as much respect. And what was I saying?
So we was talking about the Krispy Kreme
Oh, that part. Okay, so I lose thought. I'm an artist. Um, so with Krispy Kreme, growing up in a Pentecostal church, there was always a fundraiser. Um, we all know about the church fundraisers. So one of the church fundraisers was Krispy Kreme donuts, and they still do it these days. And so we would be those little kids that were walking through the parking lot selling those donuts. And so that's a really, really it's not the worst. I mean, it's not the baddest memory of being in church, but I didn't like it. I didn't like walking around in the heat selling donuts. Like, can we just set up a stand like Girl Scouts? Um,
got them hot.
right, hot and ready. So yeah, Krispy Kreme is selling Krispy Kreme donuts was around the age like 8. And so these little girls are around the ages of 6, 7, and 8. So they're really like my memories and experiences around 6, 7, and 8 years old.
Yeah. Talk about some of the everyday objects that are found throughout all of your works. I've heard you mention like bills and other things,
Yeah.
paper bags. Talk about the mediums that you use.
Okay, so my children have a lot of trash. Candy wrappers that they throw on the floor, all those papers that they bring home that you want to throw away and they find them in the trash and they pull them back out and it's like, oh, that's my favorite bird. And there's not a bird on the paper, right? Mm-hmm. So what I do is I take their works and their candy wrappers and anything that they have just sitting around, and I put it in the work. And that's just my way of being able to remember that time that I shared with my babies. And I'm not a parent for a wall of pictures, but when I create the works, they last forever. And so for them, they're able to say, oh, that's the can that we had the other day, and such left her fruit roll-up paper on the floor. And I'm like, yeah, it's in the work. And so by doing that, my children find themselves in the work. And I know if they can find themselves in the work, someone else can do the same.
Mm-hmm. How do you know when a piece is successful?
Something in me says it's done. Yep. It's a feeling that comes over you, and that's it. I walk away.
I got one for you. So Satiri and I used to play this game at the house. We had a bunch of art in the house, and it's like, okay, if you got to grab one, you can only grab one at a time to snatch out. So for all the work that's in here right now, if you had to get one piece to take home and enjoy for a lifetime, which piece would that be of yours, and why?
It's gonna be the 2 girls in the big wheel. And it's because I actually had a big wheel, one with a handbrake, okay? You had to be big time when you had a big wheel with a handbrake. And baby, I wore them wheels down. They were slick, okay? And just, I have 2 daughters, 2 older daughters. And so for me, it reminds me of my two older daughters, as well as my favorite sister and I. And the 2 girls have a lollipop and that big wheel and wearing those dresses, because I wore dresses till I was 10 years old. We were dressed modest. And the stockings, it's us all the way. And yeah, and the colors is so vibrant. I was really in a good space when I created that. Like, okay. I was jazzing. Yeah.
So take us to your studio. Like when you're getting ready to do your thizzle, right? What are you playing? What are you listening to? Do you have a clean studio as a junkie like mine? Tell us about your workspace.
Okay, workspace. Workspace is a fourth of the garage. Um, there's stuff everywhere. There's canvases all over the place. Um, there's no music because I have a lot of music in my head. There's a lot of noise that goes on in my head. So conversations and music and the TV, I don't need it because it's right here.
Okay.
I have the ability to replay sound, replay conversations, all those things. So I keep a quiet studio as far as not playing music and stuff. But the sounds that you hear are, you did it, I'm telling on you. Mama! And it's like 3 stomps and you hear rumbling. And then I have to take a break and go separate the fight. But that's, why would I need music for all of that? I have my own soundtrack.
Boy, man.
Yeah.
The while I formulate another thought, when so there's a Lynthia that we see on social, you know, in the news, you know, Instagram or at the fairs. What do people not know about you if they only looking at what they see online?
Okay. One, that I'm a mother of 5 children, ages 31 to 7 years old. My oldest grandchild is the same age as my youngest child. So my 2 youngest children and my grandbaby, they are 8, 7, and 9, 8, and 7. And people think that they're triplets. I have 2 grandbabies, an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old. I taught in a juvenile corrections facility. This is my friend Tony. She works there now, as well. Teaching all adjudicated males in Birmingham, which was one of the most rewarding jobs. I wouldn't even call it a job. I'm just call it most rewarding experiences that I could even think of as far as teaching.
Talk about that a little bit more if you don't mind.
Okay, so the state of Alabama has 2 juvenile corrections facilities. Corrections is not the word that I use, but these adjudicated male facilities. And I taught grades basically 6th through 10th grade, all males, and they weren't there for throwing rocks, okay? But they were such a blessing to me as a person. They showed me so many different things, and my reason for being there was because Black males have it so hard in this world, in our society, and I have daughters, and if I was going to change something, it was for me to pour into these males, because they come home and they're gonna date your daughter or they're gonna move into your community. And I want it to be said that, I want to believe that I have changed them in some shape, form, fashion, or been a positive individual in their life.
That's fantastic. You know, my mentor. Yeah, give her a round.
Thank you.
My mentor, Najjar, I met him when I was 20 in Carbondale, Illinois, and he had spent 10 years incarcerated. And now he just retired this semester from being a tenured professor at Southern Illinois University.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, where you start is not necessarily where you end up, you know, and so the impact that you can have with somebody's life, and you just never know what that seed is going to lead to, because if someone gave up on him, you know, who knows where I would be, and then you didn't give up on the ones that's there, and so time would tell, like, what role that you played in their life, and what outlet art, you know, perhaps may have for them. You
Right.
know, so
Right.
I'm curious about the. You remember the first piece you sold?
Mm, first, I don't know where you trying to go. You try.
No, I ain't trying to go. I'm just curious. Like I remember the first piece I sold. I don't know about y'all.
I can't. Okay, so I can't remember. I sold pieces along the way,
Okay.
but the first major piece was to Congressman John Lewis.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, and it was a portrait of himself that I painted, and it's actually in the movie, in the documentary, uh,
Okay.
Good Trouble.
Okay. Dig it.
So yeah, you'll see him. He's standing by it.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. So that I think that's the very like first one that I was like, oh my gosh.
What What was that feeling like for you? I mean, can you
Oh,
just
let me tell you
unpack
what
that a
happened.
bit?
So I was in Atlanta at the Universal Soul Circus, and I got a call and said, "Hey, Congressman Lewis wants to meet you. He likes the portrait that you painted of him, and he wants to buy it."
Mm-hmm.
So it was tornadoes like ripping through Alabama, but I jumped on the road and I headed to Montgomery to meet him. Well, he's older and it was his nap time, so I didn't get to I didn't get to meet him. But it was an amazing feeling, and it filled me with the confidence that I could actually do this thing, right?
Okay. Dig it.
And so took off.
Yeah. You
No
remember
turning
how
back.
you remember how much it sold for?
Um, magic beans.
Dig it. The no, I remember the first piece I sold. I remember selling it was for $25, and the jar bought it. Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so, but I remember I had a show at the Long Branch Coffee House in Carbondale, Illinois, and I might have had like 25 pieces there, and 24 of them were just small works, maybe like $60, $80, and then I had this one big canvas I had got from somewhere, and it was $500. And I never forget that feeling I got when I got that phone call to say, "Hey man, somebody just left a check for this piece," you know. And so, you know, it's just like that feeling doesn't really change, regardless of where that comma is at in your career. You
Right.
know, it's just the validation and acceptance, and somebody just digs what you do enough to bring it into their life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so that's really why I was kind of getting to, like, has the feeling changed for when people acquire your work and embrace your work and really see you and your work, like.
Um, what's happened is the collectors share more with me. Earlier on, it was just, oh, I like this painting, they buy it or whatever. And there was never like a connection with myself and the collector. But now, people bringing the work into their homes, into their children's bedrooms, it being a part of um, their children's inheritance. That's that's major for me because I don't have paintings to leave my children. So that's big for me.
Yeah. The have y'all thought about? I want to just again, we're going to open it up to have a few questions, right? And I want it to be a conversation. So if y'all got a question that's pressing that you want to ask, okay, what you got?
Well, first I wanted to thank you for this beautiful work and telling this like pastoral Southern story, and for me being able to connect with it and not being from the South, you know, and like the activities that your subjects are participating in, hula hoops, jungle.
Yeah.
And I've been watching your work for some time, going back to George Washington carvings.
Oh yeah, Dothan. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, watching it evolve has been really lovely. But I'm curious about these stripes and if they're a craft device or a storytelling device, and wonder if you can tell me
Um,
about the stripes.
the black and white stripes are First off, I'll just tell you where they come from. Um, I was raised along the tracks in the city that I live in, where I was raised. And the tracks just separated us, being like the black kids that grew up in the white environment, from where my mama came from. So the tracks for me were a barrier to what I really wanted to find out about. Um, so the lines are representative of the tracks, right? Um, but the black and white lines are basically a black girl being trapped in white girl things, if that makes sense. Like showing up in ballet class and you're the only brown one, right? Or doing tap dancing and it ain't tap dancing. This ain't what I thought I was signing up for. So those are the type of things that are associated with the stripes. You're welcome. Thank you.
Beautiful question. Oh, what you got?
I am so enchanted with your works, having been a former industrial designer, graphics designer back early 80s. What brings me to this comment is the layering.
Mm-hmm.
There's intentional layering,
Yeah.
and every layer has a story.
Yes.
And it inspires me because I know that in this particular piece, it's so much going on at the horizon line, perspective line,
Mm-hmm.
that makes you want to go in,
Yes.
and go behind the layers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that.
It does. It makes
Yeah,
plenty of
because
sense.
in design, we're taught to layer
Right.
at the top image, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's that horizon line that makes you want to go out and behind it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I understand.
Yes. I create in layers because layers capture the viewer. It brings them in, and as they're looking, they're seeing more than they normally would have just passing by. And so once you're starting to add those layers, they cast really, really small shadows. And then the shadows become these abstract forms. And then if you're like me, you see the abstract forms before you actually see the image. I don't know how many people see things like that, but I do. But yeah, and then the layering is like the background, that's just the beginning. We're deeper than that. There's more to us than that. Like, what did it say? Donkey said to Shrek, he was Onion Boy. There's more layers to us.
My question is about the title, Jumping Rope. How did you come up with that title? I'm looking at the pieces, and it's a literal form of the title, right, that is throughout. But in my head, I'm thinking of the rhythmic motion of jumping rope, right? And you have to be consistent to do it the right way. And then there's also a rhythm in all of your pieces, like the trees, the dogs, the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Could you expound on how you came up with the title?
Well, it was simple. It was really simple, not as complex as what you just explained. I'm very simple. But I created a work where this little girl was jumping rope, the first piece. And my youngest daughter came home and she wanted to learn how to jump rope, but she didn't understand the rhythm of jumping rope. And so the first thing I had to teach her was the rhythm of doing it and the consistency of doing it, and then taking off. And so I wasn't expecting her to come home talking about she wanted to learn how to jump rope. The work was created first, and then she came home with the rest of the idea, or the rest of the inspiration, and here we are.
Oh.
What was your inspiration as an artistic person and creativity? What's been your inspiration?
What's been my inspiration?
Yes. Throughout the years, currently or past?
Um, I'm really inspired by artists like Betty Czar. And is everybody familiar with Betty Czar? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the Black Americana collection of Betty Czar is something that I took on as like years ago. It was a calling. It was a calling that was saying, collect this, you gotta have this, you gotta have that, you gotta have that. But it was all Black Americana. And some of the same subjects and ideas that I thought were connected to the Black Americana pieces that I was collecting, I found out she had them in her collection as well. And so I was like, it's something here. And so for me, it was Betty Czar being an artist and us having a love for Black Americana, which is what pushed me. Because I was like, okay, if we got a connection and Betty Czar can do it, I can too. And so it's Betty Czar and Faith Ringgold, quilting, G's being quilters. And another thing is, I love folk art. And me being from Alabama, it is, I feel like it's my responsibility to preserve the art of our folk. And so if I'm getting in there and I'm learning and producing work like Charlie Lucas or like other folk artists from the South, then I have the ability to pass that on or be able to verify that's not what that is. That's somebody faking a Mo's tea or whatever. Yeah, so that's what pushes me.
Okay. I think I saw a couple more back there.
Hey.
I'm looking at these pieces, and I'm looking at these boots. And I'm saying, can you tell us about what inspired you? I mean, I'm seeing the power. Mm-hmm. And I see power in the boots, but I want to hear how you came there, what they represent.
Okay, so the boots are Endicott Johnson boots. Though they were combat boots during the 60s, military combat boots. Well, the same thing that was going on during the 60s was the civil rights movement. And those boots are inspired by the foot soldiers of the civil rights movement. The march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, the bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church, and the children's marches. And those girls, well, girls and boys, wear those boots for that reason.
Nice. Stephanie.
I think that your choice of Betty Czar and Faith Ringgold are both beautiful, excellent examples of artists that maybe came a little bit before us. And I just wanted to say that in honor of Betty Czar's 100th birthday,
yes,
that they're going to take the New York Historical Museum is going to have a wonderful exhibition of the dolls and the artwork that was inspired by the dolls starting in June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
June. So it just, some of the artwork from the dolls, it's like they almost become children again. They become animated in the artwork itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's like a beautiful thing. And
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
to know that.
Thank you.
Yeah. JB, did you have? Oh.
Mr. Myra, okay.
Stay on your hearing it forward and after 5 children, do you see any of them?
I'm sorry, couldn't you?
Out of your 5 children that you have, do you see any of them kind of picking up and walking in your footsteps?
Okay, so my oldest daughter was she's very creative. She's very creative. However, she figures that she could have a career in something else. Which is, I did, but I had to do it so I could raise some children. But my youngest daughter, she's so creative. she's very creative. I have to keep her out of my studio. Like she feels like she can use the good supplies. Crayola and Prismacolor are the same thing. She don't care. Yeah. Oh yeah, there is definitely one. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. What you got?
Good afternoon. One of the things that I'm initially drawn to are the bold colors and the intricate patterns.
Mhm.
And the second thing is the eyes in some of the work, in addition to the positioning of the heads. Artistically, was that accidental or intentional? How did that all come about?
Okay, so the head part or all of that?
The eyes and the head.
The eyes and the head. Okay, so when I'm creating, my creative process is the face comes first, like the face. The eyes are the first, and then the nose, and then the rest of it I fill out the face. Once I've done that, she tells me what she gonna do. Like if she's, if she's looking off to the side with an attitude, that's what she's going to present. So I just let the little girl or the boy tell me the story, tell me what they gotta do. They lead the way.
What did she say to you?
Which one? Oh, let me tell you what she say. Do you know the title of that piece?
Thank you, and please.
Do you know the title?
No, I'm not.
Oh, it's somebody come get these dogs about the hula hoop. Yeah. And really it's I'm finna hula hoop. And that comes from our country. Growing up in the country, my grandparents had, plenty of land, barns, stuff like that. But there were always these dogs that would take up at your house. And you don't know where they came from. They've been there so long, they looking mangy and thin. You start to feed them, and they're yard dogs. They don't have names, they're just yard dogs. And they would always get in the way. They always wanted to be up under you. So that little girl, she read the hula hoop, and the dog's in the way. Y'all gotta move. You're welcome.
Any more?
Golly.
Man.
It's people far as the eye can see.
Yeah, it's packed up in here.
Thank y'all for coming.
All right.
Yeah.
I
Thank
had.
y'all so much.
You got any final thought, any final things you want to share about, what's on your mind, new bodies of work that you're currently thinking about or working on, or exhibits?
Right now, I'm still jumping the rope. Those are just kind of flowing naturally for me right now. And I have started to move into, as an artist, I like to create my own problems to solve. And I think when the problem is solved, that's when I walk away from the work. I think that's, if I had to figure that out. But this next body of work that I'm moving into is crowded. It's like crowded and complex, and everybody's reaching over each other, just trying to get to something, not knowing what the something is, but it's something, and that's up to the viewer to decide what the something is based on your experience. So look forward to that. Complex works, like works that have 15 to 20 people in them. Yeah, so complex like that. Yeah.
Well, I do have a question stemming from the inspiration of like Betty Starr and Faith Ringo, who I had a chance to meet and spend some time in her studio with, and
Lucky.
took away some gems. But when I think about their works, particularly like Faith, is social, political, some commentary. I see nothing but like black girl joy or black childhood joy. Are there any? Is joy revolutionary, or joy can be a form of protest, or do you have like works or bodies of work that you've done in the past that tackles like social commentary or issues?
I would say, I'm just gonna say maybe all of them could fall into that range, because they all express joy. And for me, telling my story first person, my experience was joy. I had a great childhood. Like, we did stuff. I don't see anything negative about it. And I choose not to focus on whether it was something negative about it or not. That doesn't come to me naturally. The joyous moments come to me. And happy kids deserve a story. Happy kids deserve art. Black children should be able to walk into their house and see happy works and be able to connect to it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, don't we need that right now? Right. All right. So with that being said, I think this will conclude unless there's a final question, a final thought. Okay, come on. What you got?
Yes, ma'am.
Ironically, I was born in Birmingham.
Oh.
When I first saw the email Jumping Rope, that reminds me of my childhood days in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, I grew up in Chicago. We were still jumping rope, playing pool. So all the pain connected with my soul.
Thank
It
you.
just fed my soul. And it's just so beautiful. All the memories of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and all the little black faces, the black girls, and then me and my sister
Yes.
together.
Yes.
And it's just a beautiful joy in childhood.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you could connect with the works like that. That's the whole point. Like, everybody should be able to walk in and be like, oh, I know that little girl. Oh, I remember we did this. That's the whole point. Yeah.
All right. So let's give it up one more time for Lynthia, y'all. All right.
Thank y'all.
And thank y'all for y'all time and attention and care. If you're not following Lynthia, where can they find you on Instagram?
You can find me on Instagram at Edwards Lynthia. And I don't know what that, is it called the handle or whatever? I don't know.
Definitely.
Black Unicorns Matter. It'll show up as Black Unicorns Matter. Edwards Lynthia, Black Unicorns Matter. You'll know that's me.
All right. Thank you, Lynthia. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Y'all see Lindsay in my name? I see her when she was in the 7th grade. She has not changed a bit.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.